See, when they found out that war was no match for peace, they had to get another player in the game. So instead of peace, because peace was really beating war, war don't happen as much as peace. I know it's not televised. I know it's not broadcasted and put out there, but there's actually more peace than war. So in order to try to turn the tables, another piece is added on the side of war. So you have this breaking off, right? You being taken off from yourself, a piece of you being broken off, you being split and fragmented into pieces. The root word of peace is pie. And anytime you think about pie, you think about getting a small slice. Shout out again to Mr. Keep It Simple. Shout out to Mark the Mentor. He says you got to stack your crumbs and build your pie. But nobody wants to deal with crumbs. That's where it becomes humble. You got to be humble enough to deal with crumbs, and deal with crumbs being smart. Even the scriptures say if you save it little by little, it'll grow. You put little by little to the side. That's where the tithe was usually intended. It was a conquest. It was a tribute to having won a war. Is the first instance in the Bible where tithes is mentioned. It was after the conquering of the kings when Abram rescued his nephew Lot and ran into Melchizedek on the battlefield. That's when he gave him the tenth. That's when he broke off a little something something. But this took place after the war. So now you have things so backwards and so mixed and perverted that PEACE is at war with PIECE. Because war was defeated by PEACE, now they send in PIECE to fight PEACE. The root word, you'd rather take a pie over a pea. I don't know anybody too much who really likes peas by themselves. The green things, the vegetables, they don't really want peas. They'll even take corn over that, something that has no nutrition in it. They'll take that over a pea. So there's already trick knowledge just in the root words of P, right? P-E-ace versus pi ace. Pi 314, the radius, right? The pi. The fighting over the pie. A pie constitutes war over the bakery. And you want to keep your peace. You don't want pieces of peace. You want the whole piece of your piece. Why should your piece be broken into pieces? Why should your PEACE be scattered into PIECESs? Why? When the scriptures constantly talk about the Son of Man bringing this invitation to people saying, do you want to be made whole? Now you get why he was saying that. Do you want to be made whole? It applies right now in 2023 because there's so many things fragmenting us that we can never, as Humpty Dumpty, get put back together again. And meanwhile, all your haters is screaming, omelet, omelet, sunny side up, because you fell off the wall. Trying to straddle the fence, like trying to straddle the wall, trying to sit on the wall. You ain't supposed to sit on the wall, Humpty Dumpty. You either going to be on this side of the wall or that side of the wall. But if you're walking along the wall, on either side of fall is death. You can fall and die on the home team. You can fall inside the city. This is what happens when a person goes to a temple, a mosque, or a church and they don't grow. They don't get any closer to God, get any understanding of what God is, let alone break through the matrix of the demiurges placed in there by higher, not powers, but higher authorities, being flesh and blood people who threw a demiurge out there called religion. I'm not saying that God is unreal. I'm not saying that God doesn't exist, because we all know that there is some kind of power controlling everything. But the ones who have first dibs on defining it are the people who oppressed most of the world. We really got to keep it a buck and admit that our peace has been scattered into pieces from the very beginning. And it takes what? Not light, because we keep talking about shining the light. That's good. Shine your light. Nothing wrong with that. But The other side to that never gets discussed, and that's magnetism. You got to have something to pull the pieces of your piece back together. The pieces you lost in high school, in college, the pieces that you lost with deceased relatives, the pieces that you lost with failed relationships, the pieces that you lost in temporary jobs and failed careers and setbacks. How do you collect those pieces? If you shine your light, the light is going to scatter those pieces away even further, because light is not magnetic. We like to see it, but if we get too close, we'll be burned. Magnetism pulls you in. There's all this push this, push that, push for this, push for that, pushing for this cause, pushing for that cause, pushing to get a GoFundMe for this, pushing to get a GoFundMe for that, pushing this principle, pushing that principle. We need to be pulling. Where are you pulling from? So there are things that have to be pulled into your atmosphere. You can't just be pushing out to something that's running faster than you. Things are being held back from you sometimes. And you won't get there by chasing it, but rather by embracing it. Super T Sigma, Sigma Programming. Stay powerful. Peace.